Welcome back to my prostate cancer recovery diary. Reporting in now at 4 months, actually 1 week shy of 4 months since my July 1, 2020 radical prostatectomy and removal of 12 lymph nodes. And 1 week shy of 3 months from August 1 when my doctor let me get back on my beloved bicycle. I report to you when two very cool events have just recently happened. My bicycling club, a beautiful group of loving guys, gave me this trophy, Most Inspiring Rider. Yesterday I rode with really the most inspiring rider, Mr. RB Team U Strickland, on an epic journey of 150 miles with 4,000 feet of climbing. Two brothers riding side by side, keeping each other going. We rode for another cause, which I'll point out later on in this video, but a stunning thing for me. I wear my Closer to Free battle regalia. The Smilow Cancer Hospital at Yale, the institution that performed my surgery for me, every year has a 100-mile bike ride to raise funds, to treat cancer and raise awareness of cancer. It was a virtual ride, that is, not everybody rode together. Pandemic prevented that. But I trained to ride that September 12th, which would have been just short of 2.5 months post my surgery, 1.5 months after getting back on a bike. I'll show you the graphic. I rode a really hard 100-mile that day. Felt really great about it. And so I'm reporting as the world's luckiest guy. Yeah, I've worked hard, but I'm lucky. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step process of my well-intentioned, or maybe obsessive, or maybe crazy recovery system. Prostate cancer recovery diary through exercise, obsessive cycling. Stay tuned. Now, if you decide to contract cancer, don't do so during a global pandemic. I received a likely diagnosis of prostate cancer by early March 2019, courtesy of a PSA, prostate-specific antigen blood test, a PHI, a more sophisticated blood test, and finally an MRI. Alas, before I could obtain the biopsy necessary to obtaining any kind of treatments, the pandemic descended. All facilities that might be able to perform a biopsy closed down, and I also contracted cancer. Because my immune system had been compromised by my cancer, my COVID nearly killed me. I earned an ambulance ride to the ER, ended up quarantined in a single room of my house for 2.5 months. Fortunately, recovered by late May, and by June 1 was able to obtain a biopsy. Must wait a month after obtaining the biopsy to heal in order to obtain surgery. And on July 1, I had radical prostate surgery. On July 1, 2020, I underwent radical robotic laparoscopic prostatectomy surgery, in which my docs shoved 6 little arms into my gut, right around belly button level, each arm aimed at something I don't even want to contemplate. Hooked it up to the computer. My doc sat in another room, had a gaming console, and removed my prostate and a dozen lymph nodes. Cool thing is, no giant scar, and within hours, you're up and walking. The surgery itself took around 5 hours. And my doctor banned me from getting back on my bicycle for a month. This is my Strava app exercise feed that shows my activities for the month of July, during which I could not ride a bicycle. And that little bar, low in July-August, is my walking during that time. 133.9 miles. And I gained an elevation of 4,500 feet walking through my neighborhood and on a nearby walking trail. I averaged 4.5 miles per day. I first started walking a couple blocks. Within 10 days, I was walking 5 miles. I then cut back to walking 3 miles one day, 10 miles the next, 3 miles one day, 10 miles the next, alternated that through the month of July until August 1st, when I was able to get back on my beloved bicycle. To provide myself a little bit of incentive, I purchased my dream bicycle, a Cannondale Synapse Carbon High Mod Otegra Di2. For you bike geeks, for you others, it's the high modulus fiber frame for the Cannondale Synapse endurance/racing bike. The highest quality racing frame, same quality that the folks ride at the Tour de France, with fancy electronic shifting and all kinds of decadent extras. And put it in my bicycling room, and like a 3-year-old child would walk by every day and look at that bicycle and think about when I could ride it again. And bicycle I have. Back to my Strava application data. Since getting back on my bicycle on August 1, I have averaged 6 rides per week and 154 miles. And I jumped right back on the bike and started pounding the pedals. Back to Strava. My first ride, August 1, 2020, 21.25 miles with the little trophy you see is one personal record, fastest I've ever ridden on one section of a road near my house. Yeah, I was aching to get back on my bike. And the next day, I got back on my bike and rode 30 miles, setting 3 more personal records. And so it went. August 19th, got my riding distance up to 50 miles and became a local legend, which simply means I've ridden that stretch of road near my house more than anybody. On August 26th, I was up to 70 miles. And by month's end, my first month of riding, post-surgery, I'd hit 80 miles. And so it went. Here's my mileage, 654 miles. For the month of August, my first month back on a bicycle with nearly 40,000 feet of climbing. Continued that with September. Similar numbers in September. And finally, this last month, still a week short on this month, 600 miles, 3,500 feet of climbing. Continues. I'm recovering by cycling and feeling so lucky. Along the way, I was thrilled to be able to reach my goal of riding the Closer to Free Cancer Ride to benefit Yale's Smilow Cancer Institute, the very facility that performed my surgery. I went out and hammered it, 102 miles, 4,500 feet of climbing, a beautiful day. You can see I got 37 achievements. Some of those little gold ribbons are setting all-time record for me on the course, but also all-time records for my age group of 65 and older, just a little less than 1.5 months after getting on a bike, and again, 2.5 months after my radical prostatectomy and removal of 12 lymph nodes. That brings me to my last ride of this report, my 4-month report, but really 1 week short of 4 months since my surgery, 1 week short of 3 months since getting back on a bicycle. My good friend Rob Strickland invited me to ride 150 miles for the benefit of some family that suffered from cancer or COVID or both. We met early in the morning at 5 a.m., started off in the dark, finished when it was just getting dark, rode well up into Massachusetts, stopped a couple of times simply to grab some calories and get back on the bicycle, and then to pedal, pedal, pedal. It was simply beautiful to ride next to this man, urging one another on. We felt it in our legs when we got tired. Rob's the kind of guy, when he says he's going to do it or die trying. We didn't die trying. We put in 150 miles, 4,000 feet of elevation change. What a beautiful experience for me. How lucky I've been to be able to recover from my cancer and my COVID so quickly, and in particular courtesy of my beloved bicycle. Inspiration. I hope I've inspired somebody, but I know that I'm really, really lucky to be where I am. I know that I was fortunate enough to be in good physical shape when I got sick. I know I was fortunate enough to have the obsessive personality to be able to push myself after recovering. But the process has really made me look beyond myself. The process has really made me appreciate every day, every person, every breath I take. And so many people out there suffer such great challenges that dwarf mine. I just feel lucky to be here. I feel fortunate to be able to talk about my life, my challenge, my experience with cancer. And I look forward to the coming journeys in life and on my bicycle.